probably help if I turned on the camera, right? Generally get better video production quality if the camera's on. Generally. There we go. You know what, I'm gonna put this on the ground. There we go. Oh, fuck me. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, we're almost there. We're almost ready. In fact, we're ready. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, 'tis I, your friendly neighborhood sin merchant. Let's get me over here on camera too, shall we? But first,
Is your bar looking a little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
coming to you is I, your friendly neighborhood sin merchant, coming to you live from the Old Humble Distilling Company, right here in Humble, Texas. I don't know how much time we're going to have to do this particular live stream because I've only got an hour's worth, roughly an hour. It says an hour and 40 minutes last I looked, but it's really probably closer to an hour of actual an hour of actual battery time on my computer because A, it wasn't charging overnight. I don't know why. Oh, I do know why, because it wasn't plugged in overnight. But also B, it wasn't plugged in overnight, and it was not. I didn't bring my power cord to the distillery. And check it out. Y'all can fucking hear me as I wander through the distillery and do my work because the lapel mic came in, the lavalier as they call it. It's not a great microphone. I did solve the problem that we had last week of quietness. I think I solved the problem of quietness on the microphone. There was a secondary volume key that I was able to increase. So there was that. Um, and that solved the problem. You got anybody in with me? Not yet. So because I didn't have a whole lot of battery power on my computadora, I decided to go ahead and get started on the stream. That is really low. Actually, it just kind of pointed, it looks like it's pointed right here at my crotch. I decided to just get started. Usually I'm doing all of this before we actually start the show, before I start the live stream. But I figured, what the hell? I could go ahead and start the stream, get things cracking, and start the stream, get things cracking, and get it, because I only have like an hour and change. And if I've only got an hour and change, then I'm going to use the hour and change as best I can to make the show awesome. It is nice outside right now. The temperature outside, I mean, it's hot. Don't get me wrong. It's Texas. It's summertime. It's hot. But it's not 120 degrees hot. It's just like 96, which is really nice as far as the temperatures go. We had thunderstorms last night. Last night and yesterday evening, we had some thunderstorms come through, knocked the temps down a little bit. It felt really nice. It was a nice change of pace to have a little bit cooler. We're supposed to have a typical June in Houston is about 5 inches of rain. We have had 1/10 of an inch of rain in June. June has been a near completely dry month, rain-wise, for the state of Texas and the city of Houston specifically. Usually it'll go so far as to flood in Houston, but we did not have floods in May. I don't think we had floods in May. Knock on wood that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. But you'd think that if you have a period of sustained dryness, then you end up with a period of it kind of insulates you from flooding in the very near future. But that is completely counterintuitive. Because what will happen is if you have a sustained period of dryness in a region, the ground will get hard and not be as prone or apt to soak up water. So the first real heavy rain you get can lead directly to flooding. And that is a challenge in the Houston area because we have generally marshy land. And when we get our generally marshy land, gumbo soil, as they call it, kind of clay, when it gets hard and starts to pack in, it becomes very flood prone. So when we get our first big rain following a sustained dry spell, our first big rain following a sustained dry spell can lead to severe flooding, and we don't like that because that is bad. That is what's generally known as bad in city planning, residential, atmospheric phenomena. I like it. I like getting heavy rains here at the distillery because that'll recharge our cisterns, our rain tanks. It'll recharge our rain tanks and make things much more comfortable going forward as far as water usage and things like that. But that's just how it goes. I would much rather have a sustained period of steady, light rain than a short-term, acute period of really heavy rains. Because those short-term, acute, heavy rains, that overwhelms everything, especially following an extended dry period. But because we're getting rains this week, we're supposed to be getting rains pretty much every night, every evening this week. Because we're getting rains this week, the fireworks show is going to be on like Donkey Kong. I don't have my channel up and running on my phone. Let's bring it back over here to the main screen here. Boop. Hello. Hi there. Hello. Chat. How's audio sound? Is that good? I mean, it's not bad. It's not great, not bad. Okay, let me get that tip screen off the live concert screen too. Because that was Friday's show, and they were great. The Blue Bonnet Bastards were great, but they're not here now. I mean, if you want to tip them from Friday's show, that's fine. Look at me, I look all dumpy. All right, so this is what we're doing. Bottle filler, whiskey, bottles. I need my corks, which are over here. Somewhere over here. Where are they at? Ah, here they are. I need my corks. As he leans down and picks up the corks, the bag of corks. Cork, 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 cork. So the next thing I'm going to need to get, I suppose, is one of those kick-ass cameras that follows you around the room. Now, those aren't too expensive, I don't think. $200-300. They're not cheap. They're not cheap like a lapel microphone is. Lapel microphones are super duper affordable. I think I might even be able to turn this up just a little bit more. Maybe this. Turn this up a little bit more. All right, so this is on max volume now. I don't want to max out my levels there. I do kind of want to max out the levels here. Make sure that you're fully maxed out and doing your thing. Over here, can you get, I mean, this is, the audio on the board looks like it's fully functioning. If I knock this up a little bit further, yeah, okay, so we're just going into the red a little bit, but not going off the charts. But now when I look at the audio on the board here, oh geez, yeah, the audio on the board is going off the damn charts on the output board. Yeah, that's bad. Let's knock this down a little bit here. I think that might have solved, nope, still maxing out. So now, I'm used to projecting. I'm used to let's flip that screen one more time. I'm used to projecting out my audio because my microphone is 5 feet away from my face half the time. Not quite 5 feet, but you know what I mean. Knock all these levels down just a little bit. All right, I think I fixed my audio. This is the microphone right here. So I don't have to project as loudly as I have to project when I'm with my other microphones as I do with this microphone. With this microphone, I can just talk like a normal person, which is good because usually, after a half a day's worth of projecting, I can lose my voice, surprisingly enough. Even I can lose my voice. Yes, indeed. I also need to grab my dowel rod. and bring it home because I've got a little project that I'm working on over here. Got a little project that I want to work on. And this is going to be a surprise, but I am going to do it on the live stream. Huh. This will be a skinny. Interesting. Interesting. All right. So I've got a little project that I'm going to be working on when it comes to, I think, Christmas presents, or maybe a new merch item that we're going to have. All right. Tank is full. We're ready to go. Little quality control check on the bottle. And bam. Oh, that's loud. All right, air's coming out of the, I keep overloading the mic there. If I knock that volume down a little bit, bring this down a little bit, that should solve the problem. The microphone is still omnidirectional, so I can't stand too close. But add a little bit more liquor to the bottle there. And we should have our levels just right about ready. Beautiful. And I'll knock a little bit into that bottle. And then everybody's set. Y'all go over there. You guys come over here. Then we will cork up some bottles. So, as y'all know, the world is a crazy place. But I try my damnedest to keep the distillery to be not a crazy place. I try my damnedest to keep the distillery to be a normal place. Fun place, but a normal place. All the same. Let me see how that audio comes out on the microphone. Is it working? Can we hear things on the microphone? Yeah, you can still hear, I can hear the bottle filler when I walk past it. So that's not great, but that's not terrible either. I think the lapel microphone gives me better audio than the Omniphone did, the desktop microphone, compression microphone, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think it gives me better audio. And if I really want to get kind of experimental, I have a headset that I can use. So I look like a Time Life operator. That one's good. Take a little bit out of that one. Quality control. You know, I wonder if I fill up the shot glass, if you know, I overfill the bottles, because you know the bottle levels aren't consistently level. If I overfill them and collect the overfill in shot glasses and drink the overfill, I wonder how many shot glasses worth of overfill I'll get in a single day, because that seems like I'll be getting a lot. You know what I mean? And of course, as always, cheers to Chad. If I miss you in chat, then I will get to you in a minute. I promise. It is not intentional. My phone is over there, so I see comments as they come through, but I don't necessarily see what the comment is. I've got to walk over there and actually see it in order to interact with it. Anyway, I try to keep the distillery to be a rational, reasonable place. But you know, sometimes the world just goes crazy in a way that you can't avoid it. And you know, my 10-year-old asked me, "So what happened on Friday while I was at camp?" And you got to try to explain to him that half of the American population had their rights rolled back, and the entire American population lost their rights to privacy that are both explicit and implicit in the Constitution of the United States. It makes for an awkward conversation, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because you, especially when you also have a 10-year-old or 11-year-old who is sitting there listening along, because you've got to explain things like access to birth control, sodomy laws, and gay marriage. And get into the deep nuances of the world around you. And they don't understand necessarily all that. They don't understand why it would be such a big deal for two people to get married. Why is it such a big deal? What do they care? I know, right? And yet, there's plenty of people that really, really worry themselves an awful, awful lot about what people do in their bedrooms and what they stick where and who they stick it in. And I don't get it. I do not get it. But I do know how to fight for rights. We fought for our right to party. Beastie Boys told us all about that. The Beastie Boys explained it. You're not given your right to party. You have to fight for your right to party. And I mean, come on, if we can't trust the Beastie Boys, if we can't take good advice from the Beastie Boys, we can't take advice. But I also tell my kids, the time to fight for your rights is when you have them. Because if you have to raise a weapon to fight for your rights, you've already lost your rights. Because you're not just going to roll the clock back to where it was before you had to raise your weapon. Because you can't roll the clock back. You roll the clock forward to a time after you had to raise the weapon to restore your rights. And luckily, for now at least, we still have the ability to vote for our representatives. Texas is trying to do away with that entirely and set up an the Texas GOP wants to set up an electoral college system within the state of Texas so that we don't have a direct election of our governor or a direct election of our senators, for that matter, which tells you just how scared these guys are of the blue shift in Texas. Because the only way they'll be able to stay in power is putting an end to direct representation of the people at the state level as well as at the federal level. Every city would have its voting rights diluted by the suburbs and the countryside around the city. So Houston, a deep blue city, would have its representation completely diluted by suburban populations that are half the size of the city itself, which is just mind-boggling. And that is the only way these people would stay in power. But there's a way to stop it. While we still have a chance, there's a way to stop it. And even these measures that they're trying to put in place, that they're advocating through their state party platforms, they're only temporary measures. They only stanch the flow of the rising tide that's rising against them. I mean, at some point, it's just like that the Versace dress that Marge Simpson got in The Simpsons to go join the country club. She adjusted it and adjusted it and adjusted it and adjusted it until eventually there wasn't enough fabric to sit there and stitch together, and she ended up with a tattered mess. eventually, they're just going to have to come up with some better fucking ideas, some actual representative ideas. Eventually. Because if you race to the bottom long enough, eventually you'll get there. And then you just won't have anything left. You'll look around and you'll literally be at the bottom. You won't have any more government to cut. You won't have any more policies to gut. You won't have any more taxes to cut. You won't have anything. You don't have anything left to do. And you'll be left with a dumb, sick population that's unable to read, irrelevant on the national scene, because you have a few educated and moneyed elite. In a state of 35 million people, you have I don't know, 5 million people graduate college every year, unless you're importing talent from the rest of the country. But, a hot mess of population that's just poor, ignorant, and angry because they're got no means to get out of their poor and ignorant trap. Some of them will be poor enough and ignorant enough that you can convince them that they're happy, that they have a chance to not be poor and ignorant, but you never give them the means to not be poor and ignorant. Or rather, it's not that you don't give them the means, it's that you don't make the means available to not be poor and ignorant. A short and brutal existence. Well, that's a fun one, isn't it? All right. Let me get out of my brain space here and start thinking about Wednesday night. We are talking absinthe. Absinthe was first made in France. It was a French spirit. The base spirit was fruit-based, like brandy, but it's a neutral spirit. What we would now call a neutral grain spirit. It's basic. The absinthe I saw in stores ranged from 110 proof down to 92 proof. I got the 92 proof stuff. It's not illegal to buy it. I bought some today, as a matter of fact. Right about $25. I am hungry. Let me turn this fan. It's pointed in the wrong direction. I need to find a, there it is. Looking for a napkin. There we go. My nose was all stopped up there for a second. I bet that was great audio, wasn't it? It's Tuesday, midday, and I'm the only one here. This is unusual for a Tuesday day in the life live stream. But I am going to record this real quick. You're either with me or... How much time do I have left on my battery life? Computer? 42 minutes remaining. So I'm going to record this real quick. Be a nice saucy slow-mo. Mm-hmm. All right. See, that's how you do YouTube Shorts, kids. For some reason, people just eat those up. They love them. Absolutely love it. I don't blame them. That's some delicious whiskey there. Get the nice, sexy money shot of the whiskey. Loading up into the bottles there. You know what? Cheers. What are you waiting for? Hug me. Bring it in. I think that's going to be something like You Know You Want Me. Some kind of song that has that kind of hook. Yeah. That was loud. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Not that anybody's on. So, I am going to finally record that 11th episode of our 100K project. I am going to finally record that episode because I was going to do it for the beginning of June, but I did not. And it turns out in June we hit every single goal that I was shooting to hit, that I was aiming for. We passed our views target. We passed our watch time target. We hit every mark that I wanted to hit. And I did not do a tremendous number of shorts. I think I only had 2 shorts that moderately popped off this month. Everything else was the actual shows. The happy hours, the live streams, the day in the life. Pretty much that was most, last month in May, I had 4 shorts that popped off. I almost got up to 20,000 views in May, which was fantastic. We were at 70,000 views going into June, out of 100. Okay, 70,000 out of 100 going into the month of June. As of this month, we are at about 80. As of the end of June, we're at about 80. And again, it's all on the back of live shows. There's not a whole lot of the disappointing thing is that there's not a whole lot of engagement post show. You put out the live, people watch the live, and then it's done. There's very little post show engagement following the live. It's like a football or a baseball game. You know, you tune in for the game, but you don't really tune in to watch it after the fact. Once it's over, you know who won, you know, you're done. And I've been very bad at my goal of taking my live streams and cutting them down. But maybe I'll do that over the summer when we have our summer hiatus of live music. We have our summer live music hiatus. I'll take the live shows that we did, our Wednesday night live shows, and start releasing those Wednesday night live shorts, maybe I'll call them. Wednesday night live clip. I don't know what we're going to call that. Wednesday night. Help me come up with a name. I'm not going to release it on Friday nights. The Friday night clip show? Maybe that's it. Friday night clip show. I'll put it out there on Friday. I'll do all the SEO optimization. I'll do all the SEO optimization for the Friday night clip show. Or just call it the Whiskey Happy Hour clip show. I could do that. The Whiskey Happy Hour clip show. Best of Whiskey Happy Hour. Possibly. All right, so this one is overfilling every time. But now we're pretty good. That's pretty solid. I don't know. I got to come up with a name for that. But see, even the only videos that I do that get any amount of post publishing traction are the shorts. I mean, apparently I can do shorts really well, but I am not breaking through the noise when it comes to my uploaded clips. And you know, I don't suppose there's anything wrong with that. Ultimately, I'm not a YouTube video production house. I am a whiskey production house. And what we do is generally making whiskey, not live videos or clipped videos. All right, I've got probably 2 more cases of whiskey in here. So I'm not really worried about it. But, it's that whole part of like building a successful channel goes with building the successful brand thing. But the road show starts again on this Friday. And I need to double check and see what my schedule is on Friday in order to confirm where it is that I'm going to be on my road show. And I guess I could take this camera and just record a tour of the distillery while we're doing some work here. I can do all kinds of cool things. I've got plenty of stuff that I can do. It's just that there's one thing that I really need to do that takes precedence over all the stuff that I can do. And that is get that steam generator operating at full capacity so that I can make my bourbon. I do have an update on the rice whiskey, though. I don't think that well, I know, I didn't, the initial conversion did not work well. I did not get my starches out of the rice effectively because I added boiling water to the rice, and I don't think the rice ever effectively cooked. So if you don't get an effective cook, then you don't get you haven't released the food from the food, and the food being the starches and sugars. The starches and sugars that you have in the grain. I mean, that's the whole point of cooking it, right? Is to begin the process of digestion. And in our case, the process of digestion is that extraction of starches so that the beta can convert the starch to sugar, and then the yeast can do their job of converting the sugar to alcohol. I don't think I got enough of the starch out of the rice to begin with. We had some starch, very little sugar conversion, because we had very little starch extraction. A little bit of this in here, and a little bit of that in here. So that is 2 full shots of whiskey now that I have overfilled these bottles with, or 2 nearly full shots of whiskey. Let's check how much time I have left on the pooter. 29 minutes. I should be able to get the rest of this whiskey out of here. I've got not quite a full case left. Ow! And looky here, I can walk off camera all the way over here to the other side of the distillery, throw a box out, boom. And conveniently enough, it's going to be right about lunchtime when I run out of battery power and when I finish filling these bottles. So what I will do is I'll just go ahead and shut it down, go grab lunch, come back with my power cable, and maybe do a second half stream, because by then I should have, very possibly, very hopefully, I should have the supplies that I need. I'm not going to drink that because it's not lunchtime yet. And I don't want to get tanked up on 5 or 6 shots of whiskey before lunch, because I'm not a degenerate. I'm a sin merchant, and there's a difference. One, two, three, four. I called myself a sin merchant. Told a burlesque performer that I'm a sin merchant. And I told her, we have a very particular niche of audiences with all of what we do, with both of us being sin merchants. And she's like, I am not a sin merchant. Like, what the hell do you mean you're not a sin merchant? We're both sin merchants. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great thing to be sometimes. Yeah, she did not agree. Let's see here. How many bottles do you think I can get out of this? I think I might be able to get 6 bottles out of the remainder of what I have in there, which would be good. That would be 16 and a half cases total out of this batch, and I was expecting 17 total. Well, doesn't look like I'm going to get 4. Yep, that's pretty much it. I'm going to try and get a little bit more out of here. All right, final little drips. How's that? All right, we're not getting anything else because there's nothing left to get. And it looks like I've got 3 good bottles out of this last little batch. Bar. 2, not quite 3 full bottles. 2 full bottles and a 1/6 of a bottle, give or take. I'm sorry, 3/4 of a bottle. That goes to distiller stock. Bring it over here to my secret stash of bottles. My secret distiller stash of bottles. Add these 2 to the pack. Obadiah. And the rest of them go back in the box. Where'd the box go? There it is. Always go in neck down so as to prevent dust and creepy crawlies from joining into the party. We do not want them infecting our bottles. Almost dropped it. Well, I did drop it. I almost dropped it in a bad way. Whew, it's hot. Well, I am hot. It is not actually that hot. You're either with me or what are you waiting for? Hug me. Bring it in. Woo! All right. How we doing? Is my audio still working? Oh yeah, battery life is good on my microphone. Battery life on my computer is in low power mode. I have 24 minutes remaining in low power mode. Hot damn. All right. So I'm not going to get everything sealed up on camera, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm probably going to leave here and head out to lunch. I have some lunch to eat at my Hizay. I've got lunch, and I've got an appointment at 2 o'clock with my fireworks guy. Then I've got some data to crunch. I may not get back on today. It may be tomorrow afternoon before I come back. At least before I come back live. I expect I'll be able to get back here to the distillery today, get some more work done. But this isn't like a critical function right here. I've got 20, see here, 20, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I've got 20 cases of rye right now that are pretty much spoken for. This will make it 34, 30, no, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28. 28 cases ready to go. Nice and steady, everything done by hand. It won't always be like this, though. There will be a day when I will be able to look back from my yacht in the Caribbean and say, yep, I remember when there was a time back in the day, there was a time back when we was just young'uns that I had to, it's 23, this is 24, this must be for the gin. There was a time back in the day when we were such a small operation that I would hand label every bottle that came through this shop. Now I don't hardly see the whiskey. It goes into its factory, goes through the factory production process, works its way through the bottling room into the machines that do the bottling. And those machines spit it out into the corking room, and then the corking room goes into the sealer room, and the sealer room goes into the label room. All we do is move the boxes at the end of the shipping line to make sure they get placed into the container that goes to the boat that brings the whiskey all around the world. Lord child, I tell you, the technology you see today was only a glimmer in your grandpappy's eye. Your grandpappy just imagined that one day it would be a thriving enterprise, thinking fully that he would never survive to see the day of you standing there in your fancy suit, overseeing operations of a $90 billion corporation that spans 13 continents. That's right. In this imaginary scenario, we now have 13 continents. Because somehow we've added 5, 6 of them. Africa's divided into 2. India's done gone and split off from the rest of Asia. North America's done been split by a whole damn ocean, and now there's Northeast and Northwest America. So what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's still just 10 though. The Central Plains of Australia done been divided by an ocean. So that's 2 Australias. We can't hardly handle the one Australia. It's just crazy. And then that one continent rose up in the mid-continental rift in the Atlantic Ocean. That's 13 right there. 13 continents, I tell you. And our whiskey sold on all 13 because we also sell it down in Antarctica, I suppose, in this scenario that I'm making up in my brain. All right, I'll shut up. It's just fucking crazy talk is what that is. All right, I'm down to 17%. We have 12 minutes remaining. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. All of the bottles have the seals on them. They're not sealed up yet. But it is officially lunchtime. I'm going to go eat my lunch. It looks a little lopsided. Like this goes down here and this kind of goes out. So I need to like maybe trim this down a little bit. But I think that's because of gray hairs. I can fix that. That is dramatic. I think that's because of gray hairs. But I think I can trim that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, thank you for joining me for this brief, impromptu bottling run. I have to go run to the store. I have to run to the store. I have to go run and eat lunch. I have to go do some things. I'll be back after a while. Cheers and good night.